तो बहुत बड़े ऑडियंस है आपके।
Hello, everyone. On behalf of Department of Development Communication, Extension and Journalism from Institute of Home Economics, University of Delhi, I, Dr. Yuki Azad Tomar, welcome you all for this orientation program, especially for students of journalism first year. This has been a very different kind of an atmosphere where, for the first time, we couldn't even see our students in face to face atmosphere. Yes, we have been meeting them virtually, and this this is the situation throughout the world. This is the universal thing which is happening. But still, we have planned few sessions with you, and this is the very first session. And I welcome you all here on this virtual platform where we have Mr. Paranjoy Goha sir with us for this orientation program. Without much ado, I transfer the torch to Imran to give a small introduction about big personality who is with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I think I do not have many words to say because Paranjoy sir has a huge CV, and it's very difficult for me, a burden as well as an honor, to introduce a glimpse of his career. So he started his career during the late 1970s when India was undergoing emergency. So that's the political context within which he started. Notable among his achievements has been that he has been the editor of Economic and Political Weekly, one of the prestigious journals appearing from Bombay. And his expertise is political economy of media. He is a prolific author. He has written many books, many reports. In fact, his report when he was member of Press Council of India on paid news is significant, and that's how I got attracted and I got inspired by Paranjoy sir, and I have been following his work throughout. And uh, uh, rest I'll be sharing with you his link, which is a mammoth, which is a great source of information on Paranjoy sir and his works, and of course the broader implications of media and democracy. So without further ado, I pass on. I request Paranjoy sir to please go ahead with your talk, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Imran ji. Thank you so much, Yuki ji. Thank you for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to speak to, I think, around 50 students who are going to be studying journalism, mass communications in your department. And it's my honor and my privilege to speak with you. और ये बातचीत के पहले इमरान जी और यूकी जी दोनों हमें कहा कि आप हिंदी अंग्रेजी दोनों भाषा का इस्तेमाल कीजिए। तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, मैं करूँगा। मेरा हिंदी कमज़ोर है, मेरा तीसरी भाषा है, मेरा मातृभाषा बांग्ला है। तो फिर उत्तर भारत में और दिल्ली में बहुत साल रह गया, तो मेरा वही कमज़ोर हिंदी। तो मैं पहले ही आपसे माफ़ी मांग रहा हूँ कि मेरा व्याकरण और मेरा उच्चारण में अगर कमियां आपको मिल गया तो मैं पहले से ही माफ़ी मांग रहा हूँ। तो आज आप the future of India, you are young, you are planning, you are embarking on a course, you will be studying a course in mass communication and media. And it is a very, very important, sort of aspect of human life. It is not just Indian society, but anywhere and everywhere in the world. We actually define a society by the media. That's why it is sometimes called the fourth pillar. जो हमारे देश के जो लोकतंत्र के चौथे खंभ. There is the government or the executive, there is a political leadership, there are the religious leadership. This is how the term fourth estate came. But the media has an important role to play in every society, and particularly if a society is to call itself a democracy. अगर आप सब लोकतंत्र में विश्वास करते हैं तो लोक माध्यम जो है इसका एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण एक भूमिका है. It has a very important role to play in a democracy. In upholding truth, जो एक कहावत है, होल्डिंग ट्रूथ टू पावर, कि जो भी सत्य में है, जिसके पास आज क्षमता है, वो आपको सच बोल रहे हैं या झूठ बोल रहे हैं। द सेकेंड थिंग इज ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन पब्लिक लाइफ। जो सार्वजनिक जो व्यक्ति एक सार्वजनिक मंच से काम करते हैं, वो पारदर्शिता से काम कर रहे हैं? Are they accountable for their actions? They could be a political leader, they could be a bureaucrat, it could be a military leader, it could be anybody, it could be a corporate captain. Are they transparent? Are they accountable? Because if they are not, it is the job of the media to hold these individuals and the institutions they head अकाउंटेबल। और देखिए, आप लोग जर्नलिज्म पढ़ रहे हैं, और मैं साफ साफ कहना चाहता हूं, बहुत लोग समझते हैं कि मास कम्युनिकेशन जर्नलिज्म एक है, विज्ञापन यानी कि एडवर्टाइजिंग एक है, और लोक संपर्क, पब्लिक रिलेशंस, दीज आर all linked together. Unfortunately, yes, some people have linked them together, but I see them as distinct areas and distinct areas of interest, expertise and professionalism. देखिए, जो विज्ञापन एजेंसी में काम करते हैं, उनका काम साफ है। जो विज्ञापन दाता है, वो आपको कह देंगे, ठीक है, आप कोको कोला कंपनी के लिए या पेप्सी कोला कंपनी के लिए वो आपको पैसा दे रहा है, तो आप कोको कोला या पेप्सी कोला का तारीफ कीजिए। अब ये मत, आपका विज्ञापन में मत लिखिए कि ज्यादा आप कोको कोला पेप्सी कोला पिएंगे, ये आपके शरीर के लिए खराब है, या ज्यादा आप लेस चिप्स मत लीजिए, ये आपका पोषण के लिए भी खराब है। साफ बोल रहा हूं मैं। सो बट बिकॉज यू आर acting on behalf of an advertising agency, it is your job to publicize, to promote. You're part of the marketing effort of a company. It could be an Indian company, it could be a multinational company, or you could be acting on behalf of a political party or even an individual. So if you are my public relations officer, it's your job to say only good things about me. If I have done something bad, that's not your job. It is somebody else's job. तो एक है आपके साइड में विज्ञापन, जो लोगों को विज्ञापन अखबार बोलिए, वेबसाइट में बोलिए, टेलीविजन के छोटे पर्दे में बोलिए, रेडियो में बोलिए, कहीं भी, या बड़ा एक होर्डिंग लगा दीजिए, कहीं भी बोलिए, आपका काम है एक विज्ञापन देने का काम। आपको पैसा मिल रहा है तो आप कीजिए। और जो जनसंपर्क का काम है, दोज हु आर working as public relations officers, your job is to give a favorable picture to the people, the general members of the public. आप सरकारी संस्था में हो सकता है, आप गैर सरकारी संस्था में भी हो सकता है, नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, या आप कोई व्यक्ति के लिए पब्लिक रिलेशंस कर सकते हैं, तो आप और किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए, समझ लीजिए आप नरेंद्र मोदी जी का पीआरओ बन गए, तो आप सिर्फ मोदी जी को तारीफ करेंगे। या आप समझ लीजिए आप सोनिया गांधी का पब्लिक रिलेशंस ऑफिसर बन गया, तो आप सिर्फ सोनिया गांधी का तारीफ करेंगे, उनके खिलाफ कुछ नहीं कहेंगे। तो जो भी आपको पैसे देते हैं उसके लिए आप काम कर रहे हैं, साफ बात। वो पुराने एक अंग्रेजी में कहावत है, ही हु पेज द पाइपर कॉल्स द ट्यून। यानी कि आप जो बांसुरी बजा रहे हैं, उनको आप पैसे दे रहे हैं, तो आप बोलिए आप ये गाना अभी अभी ये सुर लगाइए और ये लगाइए, क्योंकि आप पैसे दे रहे हैं इनको, साफ बात। मगर व्यापार, ये जो हमारे जो वास्तव है और थोड़ा जटिल है। तो जैसे अखबार में विज्ञापन आता है, टेलीविजन का चैनल के अंदर आप कंपनियों विज्ञापन देते हैं, वेबसाइट में लोग विज्ञापन देते हैं, और ये वेबसाइट या टेलीविजन चैनल या रेडियो स्टेशन या अखबार या मैगजीन कुछ भी है, ये विज्ञापन दाता का पैसा से चल रहे हैं। तो एक तरह से ये चैनलों के ऊपर या अखबार के ऊपर या रेडियो स्टेशन के ऊपर या वेबसाइट के ऊपर एक दबाव आता है कि जो आपको पैसे दे रहे हैं उसके खिलाफ आप कुछ मत कीजिए। कुछ दिन पहले एक संस्था है सेंटर फॉर साइंस एंड एनवायरनमेंट, एक जबरदस्त झगड़ा हो गया कि आप जो हनी, मधु, शहद जो आप खरीदते हैं ये कंपनी से वो कंपनी से, इसमें कुछ मिला हुआ है, सिरप, स्वीट सिरप, चावल से बना हुआ है, चीन से आपने आयात किया। तो फिर बहुत जबरदस्त एक विवाद बन गया। हमारे देश के जो फूड सेफ्टी एंड स्टैंडर्ड्स अथॉरिटी है उन्होंने कुछ कहा और लगभग हुआ, मगर किसी लोग को फायदा मिला क्योंकि उन्होंने बोला हाँ ये कंपनी का जो हनी है ये बहुत एकदम प्योर है, सबसे अच्छा हनी है, मगर ये फलाना कंपनी का जो आपने जो हनी आप खरीद रहे हैं ये खराब है। तो ये खबर भी अगर आप अखबार में छपेंगे तो बात आएगा कि जो कंपनी जिसके खिलाफ कुछ ये सर्वे में बताया वो कंपनी आपको विज्ञापन देगा कि नहीं। तो यही है पूरा जो हमारे जो मीडिया का लोक माध्यम का जो वास्तव है थोड़ा जटिल हो जाता है। पैसा कौन देता है, कंपनी का मालिक कौन है। जैसे आपको दो और उदाहरण देता जाए। हमारे देश के जो सबसे बड़े अमीर जो व्यक्ति है मुकेश अंबानी जी, वो खुद मीडिया का ओनर है, उनके पास टेलीविजन चैनल है, वेबसाइट्स है, अलग अलग भाषाओं में है। इस चैनल में आप तो मुकेश जी का खिलाफ कुछ नहीं कह सकते, अगर वो सच भी हो आप नहीं कह सकते। और एक उदाहरण आपको दे देता हूं, समझ लीजिए नेशनल हेराल्ड एक अखबार है जिसका मालिक है कुछ लोग हैं जो कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ उनका कांग्रेस पार्टी के समर्थक है। तो आप नेशनल हेराल्ड में कांग्रेस पार्टी का खिलाफ कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे। ये आप देखिए एक जैसे पंचजन्य ये राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ का एक पब्लिकेशन है या प्रकाश करते हैं। तो आप उस अखबार में जो एक उनका मालिक है कुछ लोग जो आज आरएसएस के साथ है, तो आप आरएसएस का खिलाफ कुछ नहीं लिख सकते। तो आप क्या लिख रहे, क्या छप रहे, क्या सुन रहे, क्या देख रहे हैं, बहुत कुछ निर्भर करते हैं ये संस्था का मालिक कौन है, ये संस्था को पैसा कहां से मिल रहा है, ये संस्था क्यों ये काम कर रहे, ये सूचना, ये विज्ञापन, ये एजेंसी का काम आप कर रहे हैं। तो ये मेरा पहले कुछ ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स है, क्योंकि मैं दो तीन चीज और कहना चाहता हूं। पत्रकारिता का काम क्या है, और ये आसान काम नहीं है, बहुत मुश्किल का काम है। अब सचमुच जो सत्य में है उनसे सख्त सवाल पूछना आपको उनका हिम्मत है। चमचागिरी मत कीजिए, सख्त सवाल उठाइए। और सख्त सवाल उठाना आसान काम नहीं है, आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा, 10 लोगों से बात करना पड़ेगा। You have to do your homework, and you have to do your homework very, very well, because if you do not do your homework, then you will not be able to ask the right questions. Because to get an interview, suppose you want to get an interview with a very important person, whoever that person might be. She or he may be a political leader, she or he may be a corporate captain, she or he may be an important government officer, whoever that person is. If you are going to interview such a person, to obtain information or to write about that person or shoot a video on that person, you have to be able to ask the right questions. You can ask goody questions. What is your favorite color? What is the favorite time of the day? A Canadian citizen asked our honorable prime minister, what is your favorite mango? So it depends on what kind of questions you ask. That will also give your point of view and the audience that you have, your readers, your viewers, your listeners, a certain perspective on the subject. Suppose you are interviewing a top officer in the Ministry of Health, and your subject is the impact of the coronavirus or COVID-19 on the healthcare system of India and the hospitals of India and the public. This guy, this person is an expert. You better know what question to ask. If you ask this person some very light, or what should I say, very trivial question, वो आपके ऊपर नाराज हो जाएगा, मेरा समय क्यों नष्ट कर रहा है. अगर आप ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मेडिकल साइंसेस का जो निर्देशक है डॉक्टर गुलेरिया से अगर आप इंटरव्यू करेंगे, आप 10 लोगों से बात कीजिए, आप होमवर्क कीजिए, 10 अखबार पीजिए, 50 वेबसाइट पढ़िए, पढ़ के सवाल तैयार कीजिए. क्योंकि जिसके साथ आप बात कर रहे हैं वो एक विशेषज्ञ है, वो आपकी तरह एक आम आदमी नहीं है. अगर इनका कीमती समय आपको मिल गया, और आसान से नहीं मिलेगा, आपको 20 बार टेलीफोन करना पड़ेगा, आपको उनका दफ्तर के बाहर बैठ के धरना शायद देना पड़ेगा, मगर जब समय मिल गया आपको तैयार होना चाहिए. क्योंकि अगर आप ठीक सवाल नहीं उठा पाएंगे तो आपका इतना मेहनत का कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. So these are some tips I'm giving you, that if you want to be a journalist and a good journalist and a successful journalist, it's hard work. सर वो ग्लैमर भूल जाइए और ये भी साफ रखिए कि do you want to be in journalism or do you want to be in advertising? Do you want to be in public relations? You should be clear. I'm not saying one is good, the other is bad. One kind of person or one kind of profession is desirable and another person is not. Now, let me add to the point that I'm giving you earlier. And that is this is like an overview I'm giving you. Any democracy, you know that society is a democracy because the media of that society asks difficult questions. अगर आप उत्तर कोरिया में जाएंगे ना, सिर्फ वहां के जो नेता है उनका तारीफ कर रहे हैं. हर अखबार, हर टेलीविजन चैनल, हर रेडियो स्टेशन. ऐसे भी देश है जो सचमुच बाहर से देखते हैं, बाहर से लोगों को कहेंगे कि हम लोकतंत्र में विश्वास करते हैं, मगर सचमुच जो असलियत है, जो वास्तव है, वो लोकतंत्र में विश्वास नहीं था. क्योंकि अगर लोकतंत्र में अगर आप विश्वास करेंगे तो आपको जो फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन है, जो अभिव्यक्ति का जो स्वतंत्रता है, इसको मानना पड़ेगा. क्योंकि लोकतंत्र से वोट, किसके लिए वोट देंगे, किसके लिए नहीं वोट देंगे, वो तो एक बात है, वो अलग बात है. मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं कि ये महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है, बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है, मगर साथ साथ और भी कुछ चीजें बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. और एक है फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन, अभिव्यक्ति का जो स्वतंत्रता. और ये हमारे देश का जो संविधान है, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, इसके जो 19(1)(a) धारा, आपको क्लास में और भी आपको सिखाएंगे आपका टीचर्स, आर्टिकल 19(1)(a) ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया. हर नागरिक का ये एक मौलिक अधिकार है. It is a fundamental right of every citizen. And the media derives its right to free expression from this article of the Constitution of India. और साथ साथ एक 19(2) भी है, reasonable restrictions on the right to free speech. ये जो अभिव्यक्ति का जो स्वतंत्रता है, इसका कोई युक्तिगत प्रतिबंधन भी है. लोग, आप ऐसे नहीं आप कुछ भी कह सकते. आप ऐसे चीज कहेंगे, दंगा लग गया, या जो झूठ है, जो गलत है, जो हमारे देश के जो संपर्क है और किसी देश के साथ वो खराब हो जाता है. मगर ये जो 19(2) है, ये भी बहुत ही एक जटिल, ये जो वकील लोग, इसके अलग अलग तरीका से इंटरप्रिटेशन है. कौन बताएंगे कि व्हाट इज अ रीजनेबल रिस्ट्रिक्शन? इस विषय के ऊपर भी और लंबा चर्चा और किसी वक्त शायद आपको समय मिलेगा. हु डिसाइड्स? इज इट योर नेबर? इज इट अ गुंडा? इज इट द पुलिस ऑफिसर, द कांस्टेबल? इज इट द इंस्पेक्टर जनरल ऑफ पुलिस? इज इट द magistrate in the lower court? Is it the Chief Justice of India? You know, these are bigger issues. But the point is, The Constitution of India guarantees the right to free expression, but there are also reasonable restrictions on the right to free expression. But the point that I was making, and this is a very, very general observation that I'm making, is that the media or the journalists derive their right to free expression from this article, but it is not, it is also circumscribed. There are some restraints. आप देखिए विज्ञापन एजेंसी में भी यही बात है. आप एक प्रोडक्ट के बारे में आप कुछ भी कह सकते हैं? नहीं. एक एसोसिएशन है, जैसे एडवर्टाइजिंग एजेंसीज, एडवर्टाइजिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स, ASCI, Advertising Standards Council of India. This is a self-regulatory body. ऐसे बहुत सारे संस्था हैं. हमारे देश में प्रेस काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया है, हमारे देश में सूचना और प्रसारण मंत्रालय है, हमारे देश में सेंसर बोर्ड है, सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ फिल्म सर्टिफिकेशन है, हमारे देश में आपका जो CERT कंप्यूटर इमरजेंसी रिस्पांस टीम, वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी में आते हैं. हमारा जो INB मिनिस्ट्री इज ऑल्सो अ लाइसेंसिंग अथॉरिटी. And the over and above all these organizations, and I may have missed out one or two, there is also self-regulatory organization. जैसे मैंने अभी कहा आपको, Advertising Standards Council of India, ऐसे है BCCC, Broadcast Complaints Consumers Council, ऐसा कुछ है. Maybe I've got that acronym a little wrong. There is also the NBSA, the News Broadcasting Standards Authority. So there are government bodies, statutory bodies empowered with law, and there are also non-government self-regulatory organizations. The whole issue of regulation of the media is a huge subject, and it calls for a detailed discussion at some other point of time. Because if I have to explain the role of each and every one of these different organizations, what are their roles, what are their limitations, what are their problems, that calls for another 1 hour. And today, this is just an orientation. Maybe at some other point of time, maybe I can give you a detailed explanation. Your teacher, Mr. Imran Pare, also mentioned this a report that I prepared for the Press Council of India. कि ये जो बिकाऊ हुआ खबर, paid news, उसका subtitle है How Corruption in the Indian Media Undermines Democracy. क्योंकि अगर जो आपका पाठक है, जो आपका दर्शक है, जो आपका श्रोता है, उसको मालूम नहीं है कि क्या विज्ञापन है और क्या खबर, तो that creates a lot of problems. तो ये एक और चर्चा का विषय है, और किसी वक्त शायद आप लोग, अगर आप इंटरेस्टेड है, you can read these reports. They are available in the public domain, so that's not the issue. I want to talk a little bit, given the limitations of time on my hands, that give you a little bit of an overview of what is happening in the media across the world and also in India. देखिए, across the world, the spread of the internet has changed the way individuals and societies and organizations communicate with each other and with one another. Each other is two people. One another is more than two people. Now, today you are in the palm of your hand is what used to be your daily newspaper, a weekly magazine, a book, a library, a granthalaya, a radio station, a television channel, a movie in a cinema theater, and more. क्योंकि ये सिर्फ एक लोक माध्यम नहीं है. इंटरनेट व्यक्तिगत संपर्क के लिए भी एक माध्यम है. आपका कोई दोस्त है 10,000 मील दूर और कहीं देश में, उनके साथ आप एक पल के अंदर आप कम्युनिकेट कर पाए, चैट कर पा रहे. Do you want to buy something? Cinema ticket, food, ticket for a train, ticket for an airline, clothes, anything you want today is available online, the internet. Or let's go further. It is therefore changed human society in ways that which none of us could ever imagine 30 years ago. The internet is just about a little over 30 years ago old. Most of you who are listening to me, students, you're much younger than that. You've grown up assuming there is an internet. But the internet itself is just a little over 30 years ago, but it really became big around the time you were born. Over the last 15, 20 years or so, the internet has really expanded. आज अगर विश्व में 750 करोड़ लोग रहते हैं, if the population of planet Earth is roughly 7.5 billion, you will see that almost two-thirds, around over 60% of the population of the planet has used the internet at least once. एक वेबसाइट है वर्ल्ड इंटरनेट स्टेटिस्टिक्स, अगर आप जाने चाहते हैं वहां चले जाइए, you'll get all the details. You see in different countries. And if you look at what is happening in different countries, you'll find how the penetration of the internet is different in different places. Certain countries, it is well over 90%. The US, Canada, Germany, South Korea, Japan. Other countries, it's less. Some countries, it's negligible. Even today, 25, 30, 40%. In India, that number is perhaps around 60%. In China, that roughly around two-thirds, I would say. And in China, it is closer to now three-fourths. It used to be 50% and 65%. But these numbers keep changing. And nobody has precise estimates, but I can give you rough figures. And India and China are very important because India and China are the two countries where the maximum number of people live. ये दोनों देश में about 40% of the world's population are living. We can discuss this on some other occasion, but the point I was making is the internet has changed human society in ways we could never have imagined. The newspaper, the printed newspaper, the daily newspaper, the magazine, the book, the radio station, the movie, the video, all of these are now proliferated across the globe. We could never have imagined how quickly it would happen. मगर मेरा एक चीज और कहना है, जो written word है ना, जो एक कोरा कागज के ऊपर काला रंग का लिखित रूप में कुछ छपा हुआ है, उसका भी एक और क्या कहता हूं, उसका भी एक ताकत है, शक्ति है. आप अकेला पढ़ लीजिए एक किताब, एक कहानी का किताब पढ़िए, एक रोचक कहानी, नॉवल, और पढ़ने के बाद आप वही किताब के ऊपर जो एक फिल्म बनाया वो जाके देखिए, एंड मोस्ट प्रोबेबली यू विल बी डिसअपॉइंटेड विद द फिल्म because you imagined something else when you were reading the book, because it was just you, आप अकेले और आपके साथ जो कागज में, कोरा कागज में जो छपा हुआ लेख. So the printed word also is very, very powerful because it excites your brain, it excites your imagination in ways that you could never ever have imagined. It's you alone with that printed word. You imagine how people look. You imagine how cities look, how forests look, how deserts look, how oceans look, how rivers look, how animals look, how what kind of clothes are people are wearing, etc., etc., etc. मैं और कुछ कहना चाहता हूं कि आज जो ये इंटरनेट का जो प्रभाव, इम्पैक्ट जो ह्यूमन सोसाइटी में पड़ा, it is also impacting those who are not using the net. आप समझ लीजिए, आप अत्यंत गरीब एक व्यक्ति हैं, आपके पास बहुत मुश्किल से किसी ने एक मोबाइल टेलीफोन दे दिया, वो आधा समय काम नहीं करते हैं क्योंकि आपके पास इतना पैसा भी नहीं है खर्च करने के लिए. ये जो आपका हाथ में है, ये दुनिया नहीं है आपका मुट्ठी में. ये जो चलायमान जो दूरभाष यंत्र है, ये एक दूसरे के साथ आप बात कर सकते हैं. मगर आप अगर आधार कार्ड बनाने चाहते हैं, आप अगर एक कहीं घर जाने के लिए एक ट्रेन के टिकट खरीदने चाहते हैं, आप राशन का दुकान से चावल गेहूं चाहते हैं, आपका कहीं ना कहीं इंटरनेट का इस्तेमाल करना पड़ रहा है। आप बैंक का खाता में कोई किसी ने पैसा दिया, तो वो पैसा आपको मिलना है, तो आपको आजकल सब कुछ ऑनलाइन हो गया। So the short point that I'm making is that even if you do not use the internet or do not regularly use the net, directly, indirectly, your lives are getting impacted by the internet. This is happening across the world, also in India. 30 साल पहले, 25 साल पहले जो इंटरनेट का जो दादाजी थे, टिम बर्नर्स ली, विंटन सर, वो सोचा कि ये नया माध्यम लोगों को सिर्फ सूचना नहीं देंगे, इनको शिक्षा मिलेगा, ज्ञान मिलेगा, सशक्तिकरण मिलेगा. That people will not just get information, they'll be educated, they'll get knowledge, they'll be empowered. मगर बहुत लोग आश्चर्य हो गए कि आज हम देख रहे कुछ संस्थाएं पूरा इंटरनेट के ऊपर किस तरह से उनका नियंत्रण हो रहा है, ये लोग को आश्चर्य कर दिया. ये कंपनी का नाम आसान है, फैंग, FAANG, Facebook, Alphabet. Facebook is Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Alphabet is Google, YouTube, and also importantly, the Android operating system. Then you have Amazon, then you have Microsoft, you have Netflix, and you have the big Chinese companies like Alibaba, like Tencent. So these are just a few companies, but they have become among the biggest corporate conglomerates on the planet. पूरा विश्व में जो हमारा जो बहुराष्ट्रीय संस्था है, वो आज किस तरह से कौन क्या पढ़ रहा है, कौन क्या सुन रहा है, कौन क्या लिख रहे हैं. And they are not just influencing your behavior, what you read, what clothes you wear, what food you like, what movies you like to watch, what songs you like to listen. They're controlling your mind. They're controlling your ideology. They're controlling your views, your ideas, your behavior. They're trying to predict your behavior. This is also a huge subject. I've written a book called The Real Face of Facebook in India. And if any of you are interested, you can buy it. If you want a signed copy, you can always write to me at paranjoy@gmail.com. And I'll tell you how to pay for it. This is another separate subject. The social media, the use of the social media, the misuse of the social media. See, India is unique in the world. There's no country like India because no country in the world has so many languages. देखिए, हमारे देश का जो विविधता है और कहीं देश में नहीं है. We are the only country in the world where in the currency note we have 17 languages. There are 21 languages excluding English in what is called the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. But this has a lot of implications on how people communicate, what is used for official communication and so on and so forth. Again, this is a separate subject of discussion. But we are a very, very culturally, socially, politically, economically, geographically, religiously, you name it, in terms of diet, in terms of clothes, a very, very diverse and heterogeneous society, a nation. 29 states, I think now we have about 11 union territories. But the point is, how do you reach out to such diverse people? This way we are different from other countries. We have many of them will die down, they won't survive the COVID pandemic. There was one stage, about 100,000 publications registered with the Registrar of Newspapers of India. There were All India Radio has a monopoly on news, on current affairs, on the radio. But there are over 1,000 privately owned FM radio stations, community radio stations, they're not allowed to broadcast news. You know, it's interesting. We are perhaps the only democracy in the world where news and current affairs on the radio is not allowed by any organization other than All India Radio. We have television. In 1991, when you people weren't born, most of you, the airwaves started getting freed up. We had one broadcaster in the early 90s, Doordarshan, part of Prasar Bharati. Today, we are the only country in the world where somewhere in the region of 900 television channels have got uplinking, downlinking rights, जो सूचना और प्रसारण मंत्रालय इनको लाइसेंस दे दिया. और इसमें लगभग 300 के आसपास अपने आप को खबरों का चैनल बताते हैं, मगर जो आप देख रहे हैं वो सचमुच खबर है कि कुछ और है, ये अलग बात है. नाग नागिन का शादी भी खबर हो जाता है, भूत प्रेत का कहानी भी खबर हो जाता है, एक गाय चांद में दूध दिया, ये झूठा खबर, फेक न्यूज. So this is another subject where I can have a longer discussion on how fake news, disinformation, misinformation is actually poisoning the minds of people. And what has been the impact of WhatsApp? See, India is unique in another way. We have 135 crore people, 1.35 billion. Do you know how many SIMs there are? SIM, subscriber identity module. How many subscribers there are? According to the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, लगभग 120 करोड़ सब्सक्राइबर्स है. यानी कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा भारतवर्ष हर जगह में, एक समय सिर्फ गांव, सिर्फ बड़े शहर में था, आज बड़ा शहर, छोटा शहर और ग्रामीण इलाका में भी लोगों से ज्यादा सिम्स है. There are more SIMs than human beings. This is the new India that we are talking about. You have 90 crore, 900 million voters eligible to vote in 2019. And you have maybe 70 crore or 700 million people with mobile phones, out of which maybe half or more than half, about or maybe 400 million odd, have so-called smartphone. यानी कि आपका जो चलायमान जो दूरभाष यंत्र है वो अत्यंत चालाक है. Smartphones, they tell you how to spell, how to write, how to communicate. So this is the new media landscape that we live in. And what I wanted to tell you is that this is actually, in India, it's very, very important because Facebook, WhatsApp, Google have been shut out of China. So India is their biggest user base, their market. WhatsApp claims there are like 400 million, 40 crore plus users of WhatsApp in India. Facebook claims they have about 300 million. I mean, the exact numbers you can easily find out. Now, the point I was trying to make is if you look at just these two organizations, Google and Facebook, that is, Google means everything Google. Search, Google Pay, Google Maps, everything. All Google services. Add to that YouTube, add to that Android, the operating system. Include in that Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. These alone will account for 90% or more than 90% of all the information that is going around and around the internet at any given point of time. ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा चर्चा का विषय है कि बहुत ज्यादा बड़ा हो गया, इसको छोटा करने की जरूरत है कि नहीं, इसको विभाजन करना जरूरत है कि नहीं. इस विषय के ऊपर एक और सब्जेक्ट है बात करना. So I don't want to get into that in such detail, but the point is there is a lot of fake news also, which is not circulating the social media. And that this also poisons minds. And we can talk about that too on another occasion. Now, I have been talking almost continuously now for about 40 minutes or a little more than 40 minutes. It's 2:45. So I'm going to end with one example. And then I'm going to open the floor to 15 minutes of questions and answers. And I would, maybe I can go to your chat box to see. I'll pick and choose a few questions and try and answer them for you, because in a 1 hour session, you can't cover everything. So I've just given it like an orientation, touched upon some of the issues. और आप लोग बुरा मत मानिए, बहुत लोग बुरा मान लिया मैंने जब ये उदाहरण दिया. कुत्ते हैं और पत्रकार हैं. My God, am I comparing dogs with journalists? Yes, I'm going to compare dogs with journalists. don't be offended, because I think dogs are the best friend of human beings. The man's best friend बोलते हैं ना. और मैं बहुत बार समझता हूँ कि भाई लोगों से ज्यादा ईमानदार हैं हमारे कुत्ते लोग. So, I mean, this is my personal view. You don't have to subscribe to it. You don't have to agree with me. तो मेरा कहना है कि अलग अलग तरह का कुत्ता भी होता है, और हमारे देश का पत्रकार भी अलग अलग तरीका है. जैसे बोला, हमारे देश में बहुत विविधता है. तो एक तरीका का कुछ तो कुत्ता होता है उसको, जिसको कहते हैं वॉच डॉग्स, जिसका काम है भौंकना और लोगों को डराना. रात को 3 बजे 4 बजे अगर आपके घर में किसी ने चोर घुस गया तो ये कुत्ता भौंकना शुरू करते हैं पागल की तरह. तो ये चोर डर के भाग जाते हैं. मगर वो कुत्ते को मालूम, वो चोर को मालूम नहीं है कि इस कुत्ता को सिर्फ भौंकना आता है, इसका दांत नहीं है, काटना नहीं आता. ये एक तरह का कुत्ता होता है. हमारे जर्नलिज्म क्लास में हम कहते थे, इफ डॉग बाइट्स मैन इट इज नॉट न्यूज. यानी कि अगर एक कुत्ता किसी आदमी को काटता है ये खबर नहीं बनेगा. बट इफ मैन बाइट्स डॉग दैट इज बिग न्यूज. अगर आदमी कुत्ता को काट देते हैं बहुत बड़ा खबर बन जाता है. क्या हो गया, आदमी पागल हो गया. मैं थोड़ा और जोड़ना चाहता हूं इसमें. सब कुछ निर्भर करते हैं कुत्ता किसको काट रहे हैं. अगर कुत्ता अमिताभ बच्चन को काट दिया, या प्रियंका चोपड़ा को काट दिया, या डोनाल्ड ट्रंप को काट दिया, तो बहुत बड़ा खबर बन जाएगा कहीं जगह में. मैं पक्का बोल रहा हूँ. अगर स्मृति ईरानी जी को काट दिया किसी कुत्ता ने, बाप रे बाप, ये तो बहुत बड़ा खबर बन जाएगा. सो इट डिपेंड्स ऑल्सो ऑन हु द डॉग बाइट्स. So let's extend that analogy further. As I said, there are dogs and there are dogs. There are dogs that can bark, because journalists are considered to be watchdogs of society. आगे बढ़ते हैं. हमारे दोस्त है रवीश कुमार, उन्होंने बोला गोदी मीडिया भी है. ऐसे भी कुत्ता होता है ना, जो अपनी गोदी में चुपचाप बैठे रहते हैं, पूंछ हिलाते हैं. भौंकना काटना तो भूल ही जाइए. अगर वो गोदी कहीं एक जाने माने राजनेता या वरिष्ठ सरकारी अधिकारी या कोई मिलिट्री का टॉप जनरल है, कोई कॉर्पोरेट कैप्टन कोई है, कोई चेयरमैन मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर है, कोई सेक्रेटरी टू द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया है, तो एकदम चुपचाप रहते हैं कुत्ता. They are part of the Godi media. They don't ask questions. They don't ask difficult questions of those who are in positions of power and authority. But there is another type of dog. आपने शायद कहानी सुना होगा सेंट बर्नार्ड्स के बारे में, जो स्विट्जरलैंड में पहाड़ के ऊपर बहुत बर्फ गिरता है, जहां पे बर्फ के अंदर लोग अटक गया कोई नहीं, तो ये कुत्ता जाके उसको बचा देते हैं. दे सेव ह्यूमन लाइव्स. आपने कुत्ता देखा जो एक अंधा व्यक्ति, अ विजुअली चैलेंज्ड पर्सन, उसको सड़क पार करने का मदद कर देते हैं. They are dogs. They are intelligent dogs. They can sniff out drugs or explosive substances from a pile of luggage. Even I was told dogs can sniff out people with corona. So there are dogs and there are dogs. And there are journalists and there are journalists. There are good guys. There are not so good guys. There are nice guys and there are bad guys. You have to ask yourself, since you've just begun on your career, what kind of journalist, what kind of media professional do you want to be? I am hopeful that you will take a right decision, and the future of this country and the future of our society depends on young people like you. Your job is to act as a bridge between those who know and those who do not know. Your job is that of a communicator. A person to be successful in her or his life has to be a good communicator. So I wish you all the very best in your future career, and thank you once again for giving me this honor, this opportunity to speak with you. Thank you. I've spoken now for 45 minutes, I think, almost 45 minutes. Thank you.
Imran, we can open the platform for questions, maybe on chat box.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah,
But if somebody wants to speak, that person can also speak if they have the
with sir's
facility.
permission. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yes, Nishant, please.
Yeah, good
Nishant is
afternoon.
a fellow faculty with us.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. It was a really wonderful lecture. And last year we had talked at Lady Shram College also. I had met you there when I was teaching there. Yeah. So, yes, sir, as you have asked about, as you have said about the internet and how it is changing the scenario. And even these days, sir, our students, suppose someone is staying in Kashmir, she is writing a blog about the sufferings of the students after the COVID and after this 370 and abrogation of that. And our sir, farmers also who are protesting, they are now coming to the YouTube channel, Kisan Ekta Morcha. So now, sir, in this new political economical context, sir, how do you see this internet-based new media as a new public sphere for the marginalized section?
Very good question you have asked, Nishanji. And the question does not have an easy answer. At one level, all these platforms, अगर आप YouTube कहेंगे या सोशल मीडिया कहिए, व्हाट्सएप कहिए, इसके लिए एक तरह से दो धारा, ये तलवार का दो धार है, दोनों साइड काट सकते हैं। आपको मदद भी कर सकते हैं, आपका फल सब्जी काट देंगे, और साथ साथ लोग आपका हाथ भी काट सकते हैं, और इससे भी खराब हो सकता है आपका आपको इट कैन इंजर यू ऑल्सो। सो इट इज अ डबल एज सोर्ड। देखिए, जैसे आज आपने कहा, जो आज हमारे देश में जो टिकरी में, सिंगूर में जो हमारे कृषक जो है, भाई बहनों जो आंदोलन कर रहे हैं, वो अपना यूट्यूब चैनल शुरू कर दिया। बोला हम तो गोदी मीडिया से बात नहीं करने चाहते, तुम चले जाओ यहाँ से। नाम क्या लोगों का? बोला आज तक मैं तुम्हारे साथ बात नहीं करता हूँ, जी तुमसे हम बात नहीं करेंगे, अर्नब जी तुम्हारे साथ बात नहीं करेंगे। तो फिर उनका अपना माध्यम शुरू कर दिया, यूट्यूब चैनल कर दिया, ट्रॉली टाइम्स करके अखबार भी निकाल दिया। तो एक तरह से आज सबके सामने ये जो माध्यम का आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। हमारे हाथ में आज ये फोन है, इसमें हम वीडियो शूट कर सकते हैं। Anybody can be a journalist, but not everybody can become a successful journalist. क्योंकि आप अगर जर्नलिज्म में you want to be effective, you have to have the talent to take pictures well. आपका अगर ऐसा ऐसा करके हाथ कांप रहे हैं तो आपका तस्वीर क्या फायदा होगा? If you have to know how to take the pictures, you have to know how to communicate. कहानी कैसे बताना चाहिए? A good story has to be told. So whether it is for an entertainment purpose, or the purposes of entertainment, or the purposes of recording events, is very important. और आपने जो सवाल पूछा उसी के ऊपर मैं आना चाहता हूँ। जो हमारे देश में जो लोग कमजोर हैं, गरीब लोग जो हैं, जिसका गला लोग आज सुन नहीं रहा है, कैन द मीडिया बी द वॉइस ऑफ द वॉइसलेस? मैं समझता हूं आपके सामने बहुत बड़ा चुनौती है ये। आप जो साधारण व्यक्ति, जो आम व्यक्ति, आम आदमी है, इनका क्या क्या समस्या है? एक इनका जो समस्या है, इनका जो कहानी है, आप एक सार्वजनिक मंच में सबको बताइए। बताने का भी तरीका होता है, जैसे सुनने का भी तरीका होता है। इसको किस तरह से आप लिखेंगे, किस तरह से आप तस्वीर खींचेंगे, किस तरह से आप एडिट करेंगे, किस तरह से साउंड देंगे, इसके क्या गाना रहेगा, क्या आवाज रहेगा, सब कुछ निर्भर करते हैं। सो टू टेल अ स्टोरी इज नॉट इजी. Some people are more talented than others. To tell a story of an underprivileged person, a poor person, is even more difficult. आपने दीपिका पादुकोण का कहानी तो आसान से आप बता देंगे। आप स्वरा भास्कर का भी कहानी बता सकते हैं, मगर एक जो आम आदमी है, जो आज बहुत समस्या है उनका सामने, उनका कहानी भी आप लोगों के पास पहुंचा देंगे? कैसे पहुंचा देंगे? तरीका क्या है? सो आई बिलीव the new media, the internet, the new technologies has offered a lot of opportunities. It's how you utilize those opportunities that will make a difference. एक उदाहरण देता हूं मैं आपको. आज मेरा मुट्ठी में एक आईफोन है. ये आईफोन के अंदर जो आज कंप्यूटिंग पावर है, 35-40 साल पहले एक बहुत बड़ा एक हॉल में आप जितने मशीन्स डालेंगे उतना कंप्यूटर पावर, मिनिचराइजेशन हो गया. सो दिस इज रियली द वे टेक्नोलॉजी इज चेंजिंग ह्यूमन सोसाइटी, ऑल आवर लाइव्स. और मैं आपका स्टूडेंट्स को जरूर कहूंगा, आप एक नेटफ्लिक्स में एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री आया है, इसका नाम है द सोशल डायलेमा. ये जरूर आपका स्टूडेंट्स को दिखाइए. एक कंपलसरी व्यूइंग कीजिए, 1.5 घंटा का फिल्म है, आप दिखाइए और उसके बाद आप लंबा डिस्कशन कीजिए, क्योंकि ये अमेरिका में बना हुआ है, फिर भी इट इज हैविंग अ सर्टेन रेलेवेंस फॉर द होल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड एंड द होल ऑफ द कंट्री, आवर कंट्री आल्सो. और बताइए, सवाल और है कि नहीं, बताइए.
Thank you. Yes, there is a raise of hand by Tanya Lungu. Can you please ask your question, Tanya, or if you can just write in the chat box, whatever is convenient to you. Paranjoy sir, there is a query in the chat box. Can
Chat
you please...
box, Mehak Sharma. Good afternoon. We are journalism students today. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be journalists. So what would you suggest to expect us to do what the present media is not doing? The present media is not doing many things. There are many things that need to be done. There are very important things that need to be done. All I can tell you, वो एक पुराना कहावत है ना, 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration. आपको मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. As I was giving you an example earlier, to do a good interview of a person, an important person, you have to work hard, you have to do your homework. Similarly, as what Nishanji just said, to be able to tell a story, tell a story of an underprivileged human being is not easy. You have to work hard. You have to put yourself in that person's position. जो कहते हैं empathy, ये sympathy नहीं है कि आप ये बेचारे क्या है, बहुत दुखी है. Can you put yourself in that person's position to tell her or his story? यही आपके सामने जो सबसे बड़ा चुनौती है. आज हमारा प्रेजेंट मीडिया में बहुत कमियां है. इस विषय के ऊपर मैं 1 घंटा आपको लेक्चर दे सकता हूं. आप खुद टीवी चैनल देखते हैं, यूट्यूब वीडियोस देखिए, वेबसाइट पढ़िए, कोशिश कीजिए. अखबार अच्छे क्रेडिबल अखबार है, उनका वेबसाइट्स जाइए, वहां पे पढ़िए. You may not want to read on pieces of paper like your parents or your grandparents, but read. Don't give up reading. And learn कि हमारे समय when I was your age, we did not have enough information. Today you have an information overload. कि इतना सूचना है, इसमें क्या ठीक है, क्या खराब है, ये क्या झूठ है या क्या सच है, क्या अच्छे क्रेडिबिलिटी है, कौन क्या हम विश्वास कर सकते हैं, नहीं करते. ये भी बहुत बड़ा एक आपके सामने एक चैलेंज है, एक चुनौती है. सो कीप दैट इन माइंड एज वेल. मेहक शर्मा, and who was it? Somebody else you said wants to ask a question.
Yes, Nisha Sheikh. Can you please go ahead?
Yes, Usha.
Nisha.
First of all,
Sorry, Nisha. Yes, Nisha Sheikh. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
sir. This is my privilege to have a wonderful conversation with you. Sir, I have a question. Sir, in the last class, we had a wonderful, healthy discussion with Imran sir on paid news, and we asked several questions, but there is still a question in my mind that, as you said, that there is a distinction between an advertisement and a news information. So, sir, still there are lots of pages of advertisement in the newspaper. So, what I would call it, more of a advertisement agency or newspaper containing the news information, relevant news information. Sir, this is my question.
The director or the one of the owners of a very, very prominent media organization in India, Asia's biggest publisher, the Times of India Group, had once made a remark, which he was quoted in foreign publication, the New Yorker, by a writer called Ken Oleti. He had said, this is Mr. Vineet Jain, I think, who has said, we are in the business of advertising. And people joke that the news is what comes in between the advertising. There are many views on this, and this merits a more detailed discussion. But to give you a very short answer to your question, is that the owners of the newspaper say we wouldn't be able to pay salaries, we wouldn't be able to get information, we won't be able to pay for news gathering, to get people to go to different places, to speak to different people, to shoot videos, to speak with people, to write out articles, if we didn't get the financial support from these large advertisers. These advertisers could be private companies, it could be government organizations, it could be different kinds of organizations. So the question is, and this to me is a more important question, that just because you are taking money from a particular advertiser, does that restrict your independence? आपका जो निष्पक्षता है, आपका जो आपका खबर और या सूचना लोगों के पास पहुंचने का जो एक स्वाधीनता है, इसमें किसी ने अंकुश लगा दिया कि हाँ, पेप्सी कोला आज बहुत बड़ा विज्ञापन दाता है, अखबार का पूरा फ्रंट पेज ले रहे हैं, तब उनके खिलाफ एक भी लाइन आप नहीं लिख सकते, एक बात भी आप, एक शब्द भी नहीं आप उच्चारण कर पाएंगे. So these are the bigger questions to me and the more challenging questions that you've asked. Harshita Sharma, media is the watchdog of government or societal matter. Who's there to watch the media? And who's there to tell the media is doing right or wrong? Okay, all I'm saying is you're absolutely right. Somebody has to police the policemen, judge the judges. So also, media has to be judged. I already mentioned various agencies, Press Council of India, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, Central Board of Film Certification, Computer Emergency Response Team, and then the self-regulatory bodies like the Advertising Standards Council of India, the BCCC, the NBSA, etc., etc. This is a huge issue. How is the media to be regulated? Who is the watchdog of the watchdog? This is not an easy question to answer. The question is, we have multiple authorities, some statutory, government-owned, some non-government-owned. So the challenge is, how do you ensure that the media doesn't become a vehicle for hatred, social tension, preaching certain kinds of values that lead to social unrest and so on and so forth. So there's a Press Council of India, but the Press Council of India is got limited powers simply because the Press Council of India is only concerned with the press. It has nothing to do with television. Though it is a quasi-judicial body set up by an act of parliament, it cannot punish. It can only admonish you, it can only tell you what you should not do, but it cannot fine you, it can't put you behind bars. Okay, Suhani Bothra, do you think it's easy to survive with some truth and honesty being a journalist? No, it's extremely difficult, Suhani. Just as it is extremely difficult to be an honest doctor, an honest civil servant, an honest engineer, an honest social worker, an honest teacher. So too, it is very difficult. There are many doctors who make lots of money. They're more bothered about making money than taking care of the patients. There are many civil servants who are corrupt. There are many politicians who are corrupt. Instead of doing public service, they're doing personal service. So whichever walk of life you are in, it's not an easy task to be honest and sincere. So, do you think it's easy to survive with truth? No, it's very difficult. You make a choice. Okay, 2 more questions. We'll make these the last 2 questions, please. Grateful to have such a fruitful discussion. Tanya Langu, my question is, media promotes democracy. We know that favoritism exists, which also creates source of income for media channels. So is it justified? No, it's not justified. Should transparency be promoted or current situation is favorable? No, there should be more transparency. If the media wants transparency from other sections of society, whether it be the bureaucracy, the political leadership, the corporate leadership, whether it be among the military, among everything, then the journalists themselves have to be, they themselves should be transparent. So this is also, I agree with you, Tanya, there should be far more transparency than at present. Diksha Sati, good evening. Somewhere or the other, the mentality and the ideology of the channel owner or any other media owner affects the content of the journalist and hence the independence you mean, of the journalist. Your sentence is not very properly framed, but it's more or less the same question that Tanya asked. Yes, of course. The ideology, the mentality, the preferences, including the political preferences. I gave you examples. I gave you the example of organizer of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. I gave you the example of Mr. Mukesh Ambani. So if you listen carefully to what I had said earlier, I've tried to answer these questions. The independence of journalists, the independence of certain kinds of journalists are being, their lives are becoming more and more difficult. It's become that much more difficult to be truthful and honest because of the pattern of ownership and the character of the owners and the ideologies they believe in. Okay, Kavya Singh, what are your views on Gauri Lankesh and Arnab Goswami case? Do you think that freedom of speech has become a controversial right which is being molded according to those in power? Good question. I completely agree with you. The word freedom of speech has become a controversial right. Indeed, it has. I made an entire film in 2013 on freedom of expression. And if you want to, you can see it also. Maybe your teachers can show it to you. It's available on YouTube. It's called Freedom Song. You want my views on Gauri Lankesh and Arnab Goswami? Arnab Goswami is alive. I know him very well. I commented on him last night on BBC World News. Gauri Lankesh I knew personally. She's no more with us. She's been killed, brutally killed. There are people who are trying to keep her legacy alive. I knew her personally. She features very prominently in a long documentary I made called Blood and Iron. It's about the illegal iron ore mining in the Ballari district of Karnataka and the Anantapur district in Andhra Pradesh. Earlier it was undivided Andhra Pradesh. It's part of Andhra Pradesh. So Gauri gave me a long interview. We used parts of that interview later also. She was an amazing person. That's all I can say. If you want to see the film, it's available. It's a long documentary. It runs into 1.5 hours, 3 parts, half hour. On my own website, paranjoy.in, if you go to Blood and Iron, you can get the YouTube links of these documentaries. They were both controversial and in their own way, they were very, very unusual individuals. Arnab, I knew him from the days he was in NDTV. I didn't know him when he was working for the Telegraph newspaper. Arnab has interviewed me. I've appeared on Arnab's program many, many times. Not only when he was in NDTV, then he went on to Head Times now. Then he stopped calling me. And since he started Republic Television, he doesn't call me at all. I think he has changed a lot. He has changed considerably from the time he was in Telegraph, NDTV, and even Times now to what he is today. Republic Television often, it has just been fined by the Office of Communications in the United Kingdom. So I can give you a half-an-hour lecture on some other occasion. So Kavya Singh, in Arnab's case, freedom of speech was cross-questioned in many ways by netizens. Look, his own employees have been jailed on charges that they were trying to manipulate television ratings. Again, that's a different subject. Mihika Shah, good afternoon. How can a layman distinguish between paid news and genuine news? Very good question. I've written a 70-page report for the Press Council of India. Read it. Difficult to give you one clever one-line answer, but I think it is possible to distinguish between an advertisement and genuine, independent, balanced, researched, credible. जो सूचना के ऊपर आप विश्वास कर सकते हैं और जो विज्ञापन है आपके लिए कुछ बेच रहे हैं, कुछ सेवा बेच रहे हैं, कुछ व्यक्ति का संदेश बेच रहे हैं, या कोई व्यक्ति को बेच रहे हैं, कोई राजनीतिक दल को बेच रहे हैं, या कोई प्रोडक्ट या कोई सामग्री बेच रहे हैं। एक जो खबर देते हैं उनका काम और कुछ होते हैं। कोई प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस को बेचना उनका काम नहीं होता है। बस इतना ही मैं कहना चाहता हूँ। ये बहुत लंबा विषय है, जटिल विषय है।
We'll
More and more
stop
questions are coming
the
in.
questions. Yeah, we'll.
Already 10
I think
past
yeah.
3.
But I would, Paran Joy sir, I would
testing.
request our third year
People are
student
very
Mahima.
interested in Arnab Goswami. Define the role of the media on unprivileged, you mean underprivileged students of Kashmir. You know, these are big questions, these are big issues. And I don't want to give you 2 or 3 clever one-line answers, जो हम टीवी वालों कहते हैं साउंड बाइट। ये लंबा लेक्चर आप सुना, धन्यवाद। You have given me a lot of your time and a lot of your attention. Thank you so much. हाँ जी, Imran
Paran
ji.
Joy sir, we would formally like to thank you. So Mahima is there to offer a vote of thanks. We'll listen to her as well.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Department of Communication, Extension and Journalism, I, Mahima Bhatia, would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Sir for having spared his valuable time, of course, and to give so much knowledge about the topic we had, the state of media. It was indeed a pleasure for all of us, and it was like an opportunity to avail. It was not just one takeaway, but so many that I could not even count. So, thank you so much for such an enlightening session. If given a chance, we would definitely like to discuss more about it. And once again, thank you from all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much,
indeed.
sir. With your lecture, we got several snippets to talk a lot about, and we'll request whenever the pandemic will get over to meet you personally at college and have a long chai pe charcha.
There is a Bengali lady, Moumita Kundu. Khub
Yes, sir.
Dhanyabad. Dhanyabad. Moumita Kundu. Namaskar. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Acha, thank you, Yuki ji, Mahima ji, Nishant ji, Imran ji.
Thank you so much, sir.
I hope my combination of the 2 languages worked.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
course,
it worked, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, all of you.
To you, sir.
And Imran